Hi, today we are going to discuss about patterns using nested loops. In the previous video, I have discussed about for loop. Now in this video, I am going to explain about nested loops. Using nested loops, we are going to generate patterns. But before that, we will be seeing simple pattern using string operator into. Now if you want to know more about for loops, you can click on the link given in the description about for loop and you can watch the video. Now I am going to generate a simple pattern using string operator into, okay, without using nested loops. Now here is the pattern, asterisk pattern. There are 5 rows over here and in each row I am displaying one asterisk. That is first row 1 asterisk, second row 2 asterisk, third row 3 asterisks, fourth row 4 asterisks and fifth row 5 asterisks I am displaying here. Now this I can do without using nested for loops, using simple for loop, that is I am using the string operator into. If you want to know about string operator, even that video is available in the description. So you can click on that video in the description and watch the function of string operator into. Now we will see how to write the program. So for I in range 1 to 6. Even though I have to run the loop for 5 times, I have to specify here 6 because it will stop at 5. The loop will start from 1 and it will end at 5. It won't consider the value 6. So the loop will run for 5 times and each time asterisk will be displayed for I number of times. Asterisk will be displayed for I number of times. When I is equal to 1, asterisk will be displayed for 1 time. And when I is equal to 2, asterisk will be displayed for I number of times, 2 times. When I is equal to 3, it will be displayed for 3 times. Like that, the loop will continue for 5 times to display 5 asterisks in each row. So this is how we write a simple program to display the asterisk. And please note that there is no space between the asterisk. Here, it will consider the asterisk as a string. This asterisk string is displayed for I number of times. So this is how you write the simple program.
The program practically, I have written the program here and I am running the loop for 5 times. I am running the loop for 5 times, that is it won't consider here 6, it will stop at 5. Run the loop for 5 times and I am displaying the asterisk, that is star, for I number of times. That is I am using the multiplication operator of string for displaying the asterisk for I number of times. So you can watch the video which is given in the description, that is string operators, if you are not clear about the multiplication operator, string operator. Okay, now let us run the program and see. See, the asterisk is displayed for, that is the asterisk is displayed in 5 different rows. When I value is 1 asterisk, when I value is 2 asterisk, when I value is 3 asterisk, when I value is 4 asterisk, when I value is 5 asterisk. It is displaying the asterisk I number of times in each iteration. So this is how we run the program.
Now we will see how to generate a pattern using nested for loop. Earlier we have seen to generate a pattern using simple for loop. Now I am going to use nested for loop. Now you see this pattern. Now in this pattern there is space between the asterisk. There is space between every asterisk that you have to notice. In the previous pattern there was no space, so we used a simple string operator into. that is multiplication operator, but here there is space. So you have to take care of that space. So totally I want to generate 5 rows. So I want to run 5 loops. Now inside each loop I have to run one more loop for displaying the asterisk. Loop for displaying this asterisk. That is iteration 1, 1 star. In iteration 2, 2 stars. I have to run the loop for I number of times inside the outer loop. So the outer loop is for I in range 1 to 5. That is, I have to run the loop for 5 times. So I cannot write here 5. I have to write here 6 because it will stop at 5. So run the loop for 1 to 5. If you write here 5, it will stop at 4. That's why I have written here 6. So run the loop for 5 times, and each time when I is equal to 1, you have to run the loop for 1 number of time, internal loop. And when I value is 2, you have to run the loop for 2 times for displaying 2 star. When I is equal to 3, you have to run the loop for 3 times for displaying 3 asterisk. So here when I is equal to 1, I am running one more internal loop for j in range 0 to I. I value is 1. So I have to run the loop from 0 to 1. If I start with 1 to 1, then loop won't get executed at all because it will stop at 1. That is 1 minus 1, 0. So this won't work. So I am starting from 0 to 1. So loop will run for one number of times. That is, when j value is 0, yes, it will display 1 asterisk. When j value is 0, it will display 1 asterisk. When j value is 1, it won't display. Okay. So, and here you have to notice that print asterisk, after displaying 1 star, you have to give space, because after displaying asterisk, if you don't specify this, what will happen? If you don't specify this end argument with space, the control will go to next line, and asterisk will be displayed one below another. I want to display asterisk one after another for each iteration. So that's why I have to use the end argument in print. This also I have explained in one of my video, and you can watch the video, that is which I have given in the description. You can click on the video which I have given in the description and watch how the end argument works in the print. So end, instead of going to next line, it will give you space here. So when I value is 1, j value will be 0, that is internal loop will run for only one time and it will display 1 asterisk. When I value is 2, what will happen? J, how many times loop will run for j? That is, j will run for 0, j value will be 0, then j value will be 1. It won't execute for 2. So when j value is 0, it will display 1 asterisk. And when j value is 1, next time when j value will be 1, it will display one more asterisk. And you have to write here print. This is outside this loop. You have to notice that this print is not part of this internal loop. It is part of this external loop. After running the internal loop, you have to go to next line. Explicitly, you have to go to next line by writing the print statement. Then it will go to the next line. When I is equal to 3, what will happen? J value will be, when it is 0, it will display 1 asterisk. When j value is 1, it will display one more asterisk. and when j value is 2, it would display one more asterisk like this. When I is equal to 4, it will display 4 asterisks, and when I is equal to 5, it will display 5 asterisk. J value will start from 0 and it will go up to 4. It won't go up to 5. 5 minus 1, it will stop at 4. So this is how we use nested for loops for generating this pattern. We can use string operator also, but when there is no space between the asterisk. If there is space, then you have to go for nested loop for displaying the patterns like this. Now if you like my video, you subscribe to my channel Ishwari Classes, and you can watch the more videos.
The program practically, that is a program to display asterisk with space. So you have to run the program, that is you have to run the loop for 5 times. So I am running the loop for 5 times, range starting from 1 up to 5. That is, if you write here 6, the loop will run up to 5. And then I am running the nested loop. J is the nested loop here, and I am running J for I number of times. I am starting from 0. If I start from 1, then the loop won't run at all when I value is 1. So I am starting from 0, then loop will run for 1 time when I value is 1, and it will display asterisk for 1 time. Then when I value is 2, J will run for 2 times. J values will, for first time it will be 0, it will display 1 asterisk, and when J value is 1, it will display one more asterisk. And you have to notice that end, I have specified end is equal to space, because if I don't specify the end, print control will go to the next line. I want to display the asterisks in each row in the same line instead of going to next line. So after executing the internal loop, the control has to go to the next line for the next row. Okay, so this is how you have to write the program to display stars with space. So let us run the program. See here, there are total loop is running for 5 times, and 5, that is 5 rows, and each row asterisk is displayed for when I value is 1, it is displaying 1 asterisk. When I value is 2, it is displaying 2 asterisk. Like this it will display, and see that there is space in between the asterisks compared to the previous program where there was no space, but in this program there is space. That is, we have specified the end argument in the print. So even this is explained in one of my videos, end argument in the print, so you can see the description for that video, and you can see about end argument. This is how we run this program.
Now we will see one more pattern using nested for loop. Now if I want to generate this pattern 1 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 and up to 5, that is 5 rows. I want to generate 5 rows, and I want to display the numbers each time. When I value is 1, I want to display 1. When I value is 2, I have to run the loop from 1 to 2. When I value is 3, I have to run the loop. That is, when you have to remember that if you are running the loop for 3 times, if you want to run the loop for 3 times, then you have to specify the end number as 4, because it will stop at 4 minus 1 3. That we will see in the loop now. Now see, I am running this loop for 5 times. I have specified here 6, so it will stop at 5. for I in range 1 to 6, that is it will stop at 5. And then when I value is 1, when I value is 1, now what are the values of j? J will start from 1, and you have to write, if you write here I, that is when I value is 1, then what will happen? It won't I minus 1, that is 1 minus 1, it will be 0. So it won't go inside at all. It won't execute the internal loop at all. So I have written here I plus 1, that is 1 plus 1, 2. It will stop at 1 only, that is 2 minus 1, 1. So for one time the loop will run and it will display you the number. So j value will be, first it will be 1. When it is 1, it will display 1. And for one time it will display, and will go to the control will go to next line here, print. You have to remember that this print is not part of this internal loop, it is part of this external loop. And don't forget to use the end argument over here. So this end argument is used to specify the space between the numbers. Okay, now when I value is 2, j will be 1 initially, it will display 1, and then j value it will become 2. It will become 2. When it is 2, it will display you 2. And when I value is 3, the internal loop j is going to run up to 1, 2. Okay, it won't consider 3, that is 1, 2, 3, that is 3 plus 1, 4. The loop is going to run for 3 times. Okay, so when j is equal to 1, it will display 1. When j value is 2, it will display 2. And when j value is 3, it will display 3. When j value is 4, that is it will stop at 3 only. That is when I value is 3, 3 plus 1, 4. That you will here, even if you specify 4, it will become 4 here. That is it will stop 4 minus 1, 3. So 3 values 1, 2, 3 will be specified, will be printed. Then when I value is 4, j is 1, it will display 1. When j is 2, it will display 2. When j is 3, it will display 3. When j is 4, it will display 4. When j is 5, it will stop. That is 5, 4 plus 1, 5. When I value is 4, the loop will run up here up to 4. The value will be here 5. So it will stop at 4 only. It won't consider 5. So when I value is 5, when j value is 1, display 1. When it is 2, display 2. 3, display 3. When it is 4, display 4. When it is 5, display 5. When it is 6, it will come out of the loop. So this is how the nested for loop works for this pattern.
Will see the program practically to display the numbers in the form of pyramid. So I want to display 5 rows. So in each row I have to display the numbers. Now total number of rows I am going to display is 5. So I am running the loop from 1 to 5. It won't consider 6. And then in each loop, that is I have written a nested loop here. So for each iteration, j will be executed for I number of times. That is, I am starting range from 1 here because I want to display the number 1, and I am writing here the n number as I plus 1. If I write here I, only I, then the loop won't run. So I have to make it I plus 1. That is, when I value is 1, here the n number would be 1 plus 1 2. So the loop will run for one number of times to display the number 1. When I value is 2, the internal loop, nested loop, will start from 1 and it will go to next number 2 and it will stop there, because here the n number is I plus 1, that is 2 plus 1 is 3, so it will stop at 2. So it will display the numbers 1 and 2, and see, I have used here end is equal to space to display the numbers in the same line. After displaying one row, the control will go to the next line, that is next row. So this is how we write this program. Let us run the program and see. See, the loop is running for 5 times. There are 5 rows, and each row, when I value is 1, the loop is that is displaying the number 1. When I value is 2, the internal loop is running for 2 times to display the numbers 1 and 2. And when I value is 3, the internal loop is running for 3 times to display the numbers 1, 2, 3. Like this, the loop will run for 5 times to display the numbers in the form of pyramid like this. So this is how we write this program. Here I have written here I plus 1, just make it sure.
Now we will see another pattern. This is the pattern, and we are going to use the for loop, nested for loop. And this pattern is something different from the previous patterns which I have discussed. Now that is the range function. I am going to use it in a different way, which I have not used till now. Okay, so here if you see this pattern, first time I am displaying the numbers from 1 to 5. Second time I am displaying the numbers from 1 to 4. Totally the loop is running for, there are 5 rows and loop is running for 5 times. That is for sure, loop is running for 5 times, and each time I value is getting reduced by 1. First time 5, here 4, here 3, here 2, here 1. That is, I am going to run the loop. I am going to start the loop in the reverse fashion, in the reverse model. That is, initially I am going to start it with 5, because I want to run the loop from 1 to 5. Next time I have to decrement the value of I to 4. For that I have to specify here the step for the range function. You have to specify step, that is, you have to, the next number, first initial value of I would be 5, and next value of I would be 4. Minus 1, it will deduct to 4, and next value it will be 3, next 2, and next 1. It won't consider 0. 0 minus 1, that is minus 1. It will it will stop at 1 only. Okay, so it won't consider this 0, and every time you have to reduce the value by 1. So I am writing here step as minus 1. By default it is the step will be positive 1. So even if you don't specify the step, it will increment by 1. But here if you want to decrement, you have to explicitly specify minus 1 over here. Okay, so here this is how the I value will change. And internally what will happen, when I value is 5, you have to run the loop from 1 to j will be from 1 to 1 to 5. It is I plus 1 6. It won't consider 6, so it will start from 1 to 5 and it will display the values 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And when I value is 4, J loop will run from 1 to 4 and it will display 1, 2, 3, 4. And when I value is 3, J will run from 1 to 3 and it will display 1, 2, 3. And when I value is 2, it will run from 1 to, this is 2 here, so don't get confused. 1 to 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 2, and when this is 1. So like this, loop will run and it will display the pattern. You have to observe the changes, what were the values over here, starting from 5 and going up to 1 and deduct by -1.
The program practically. Now I have written the for loop here to display numbers from 1 to 5 in the first row and 1 to 4 in the second row, then 1 to 3 in the third row, then 1 and 2 in the fourth row, and in the fifth row just 1. So here, I am writing the range, that is the range starts with 5. I want to run from 1 to 5. See, the J loop, the nested loop J is running from 1 to 5. That is I plus 1, that is 6. It will stop at 5. And I am running the loop to display the numbers from 1 to 5. After displaying from 1 to 5, see in I, the next value is 4. Because the step I have written -1, so next value of I would be 4. So the J loop will run from 1 to 4 to display the numbers from 1 to 4. Then third time I value will be 3 and the internal loop J will run from 1 to 3. Like this, I value will run for, that is the outermost loop will run for 5 times and the numbers will be displayed. Let us see how the program runs. See, first time when I value starts with 5, the loop is running for 5 times to display 5 numbers, and when next time when I value is 4, the J loop, internal loop, displays 4 numbers, and when I value is 3, J loop displays 3 numbers. Like this, the loop like this 5 rows are displayed. So you have to see that the step -1 to go in the backward direction. So this is how the program runs. If you like my videos, subscribe to my channel Ishwari Classes and watch more videos related to Python, and don't forget to like it and share it. Thank you.